I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, right? Because I'm not doing a full presentation with, graphics and charts and everything. So I'm gonna make it short. So first of all, this is a relationship that will be difficult to maintain. And everything is alleged, of course, from the time I open up my mouth until I say abiento, right? So this relationship is going to be difficult to maintain, difficult to keep, and definitely not going to be an easy ride, right? But then they do have a glue. And guys, every time I talk about a glue, I'm talking about Saturn and Moon. When you have Saturn and Moon, it kind of like forces you to be together, right? Regardless of you are together happily or you are together miserably, right? You are being forced here. The universe, the planets, God is requiring you to have this relationship so that you can, give each other the karma that is needed to be given. And their Saturn and Moon, they are trying, like her Saturn is trying to his moon is trying to her Saturn, which is making things easy, right? There is a support to the commitment that is required in a relationship, and also there is support regarding the resources that would be needed to keep up with this relationship, right? However, with a trine like this of Saturn and Moon, it is telling me there is an obligation to have a project together, a project that they would nurture together. And this is the purpose of their relationship. It is to come and have this project that they would be able to nurture together. In other instances, the project becomes a child because Moon is nurturing. And then in other instances, the project becomes literally like work, like you have a business together that you create together and you have to nurture it, right? So harmoniously, it would be so. And, it would be easy to make this project because its trine is harmonious, right? However, everything else around this relationship is saying no. So basically, they've already served their first project. It is to work together, right? Because her Moon is requiring or is demanding from his Saturn a work project due to it being in Virgo, right? And of course, we do know that they already did the movie Weekend together, so that purpose has already been served. And so then continuing to look at other purposes around the obligations of their Moon and Saturn, we can also see that there is a family. His Saturn is requiring an obligation to be served or rendered around the family life, right? And around also marriage or the relationship itself. Of course, we could also say that this part is already served or rendered because, by coming into his life, and then he had to break off his own family with his wife, because remember, his Saturn is with Lilith, right? Anytime there's Lilith, there is always something sinister. There is always an underlying motive, something, taboo. And of course, we do know by her coming into his life, he then divorced, his wife, again, the part of the relationships being rendered, contracts being ended, right? So that purpose, we could say, that is also served. However, regarding them now, there is also an obligation to continue their relationship, and to the point that they could be obliged to move in together, like to stay together in the same house or in the same neighborhood, but so close together. Okay, this is another purpose that is requiring them, okay, from these trines of the moons. I do see though, okay, I do see that, let me wait, because, you know, what I see here is that there's been a lot of criticism, obviously, because, you know, people are saying, oh, Ariana got into the whole situation to break off a family, you know, and, you know, take Ethan from the wife and all of that, right? Fair enough. I do see, however, that I would say later on this year, or maybe close to June, May, April, no, maybe May, or around this part, right? June, May, April, or whatever, right? I do see them moving in together, or showing a commitment of, you know, being together. But as I said, staying together or moving in together or being in one place or in the same neighborhoods so close together is part of this deal. Is part of their purpose with this relationship, right? So I do see that happening quite soon. So yeah, around May, April, around those things, right? Because remember, I calculate by hand. So when I set out a date or a month, then we could flex it, you know, to 2 or 3 months difference, you know, to the event. So I see that happening. I also do see that, as according to the news, they started, you know, being seen together around December of 2022. But the SYNASTRY says that they would have started the relationship itself around January 2023, because at this time her progressing Venus it always works, you guys. Her progressing Venus was conjunct with her Rahu, and on top of that, in her 12th house of secrets, of hidden things, you know. And Rahu being here, definitely cheating and hidden, you know, situations. But at the same time, which is making it more critical, is that her progressing Venus was opposite his Venus at this time, challenging his Venus, saying, hey, I'm here, look at me, right? And we did find out about it, or people found out about it, the media, because his Venus is with his Sun and Mercury. With Sun involved, you cannot hide things forever. With Mercury involved, people are going to talk about it when the Sun shines the light on the situation. So people did find about it, the media found out about it, and as a result, he was forced then to what? To divorce his wife or something like that. I think that's what I read, but everything is alleged accordingly, right? So things were exposed because of his Sun, and they couldn't hide it anymore. But his own progressing Venus was also conjunct with his own Rahu. It works, you guys. With his own Rahu, Neptune, and Uranus, meaning that, you know, they try to lie about it because Neptune is deception, lies, so they try to lie about it or to hide it, right? But because of the Uranus, things were exposed suddenly and they had to move suddenly and all of that, right? I do see that, last year would have been, a bit busy for them, trying to maneuver around the scandal, because her progressing Venus at this time was with his Lilith and Saturn, right? So of course Lilith, right, which is also opposite her own Mercury and Chiron, meaning that of course people were talking negatively about them, and there's also his Chiron as well, so they were hurting by the things that were being said, right? Mercury and the media and the reports and everything. However, not only were they getting hurt, but they also hurt a home environment, which is in Cancer, because this is against the Cancer sign. So of course there was a home that was broken. Ethan's, I don't know why I'm saying Nathan. Ethan's home, family life was broken, and of course Chiron, people feeling hurt, his wife or his ex-wife feeling hurt and everything, right? So I do see that this year we could look forward to them moving in together, as I said, or moving in closer together, as I said. However, they would also have a lot of adventures, right? There would be like moving up and down, exploring things. And I do see, however, a bit of rumors, like there would be rumors that they're not together for some reason, because there's a Mars, that is opposing this progressing Venus at this time with Saturn. Maybe there would be a rumor saying, oh my gosh, they had a fight, whatever, right? And at the same time, his own progressing Venus is going to be conjunct with his Mars. So definitely rumors of a split, of an argument, rumors of, oh, they're not together, oh, they're not on the same level, oh, they're fighting, whatever, right? But then progressing to after this, right, assuming of course they survive all of these things, then later on this year, going into the next year, right, I do see that her progressing Venus will be conjunct with her own Lilith, with his Mars, and opposite her Moon and Jupiter. All right, so progressing Venus and Moon, they want to form a family. They want to nurture. There's an urgency to nurture, to have something that they could nurture, right? However, because of his Mars, there would maybe be a disagreement or a cut to the plans, or a loss to the plans or stuff like that, right? And at the same time, I do see that by this time, so later on this year going to next year, I don't see the relationship continuing, because then her progressing Venus will move on to be conjunct with her progressing Ketu, and later on after that, his progressing Venus will be conjunct with his own progressing Ketu, which is of course with her Venus. My gosh. So later on this year, but certainly next year, they could be facing like an end to the relationship. But by the 2027, definitely the relationship would have ended at this time for sure, because of his progressing Venus being conjunct with her Venus and his progressing Ketu. So problems would start to be present, or be really, really present by the end of this year, towards, the beginning of the next year. And soon enough, like mid June, May, April this year, there would be rumors that they're fighting, they're not together, there would be those rumors. And then if they survive the rumors, then, the real problems would start, because there's the Lilith, there's the Mars effect, like a lot of stuff, right? But as I said, there would be a need to nurture, but this need to nurture, or the nurturing itself, it gets cut off by the Mars impact, right? And around end of this year, or close to end of this year or early next year, then Ethan would have to kind of like take care when it comes to his health as well, because of the Mars effect here. So eat right, to sleep, relax, stuff like that would be good for him, right? And also at the same time, this year, I think this year would also be good. No, actually, this year, end of this year, it will also be good for her to also take care of herself, take care of her health, mental health, physical health. So they would just have to just take care with all of this mess going on of Mars energy, right? What's making this relationship difficult is that they have a square of Venus in Saturn. Her Venus squares his Saturn. You don't want to see that when it comes to Venus and Saturn, right? Because then it means there is a lot of sacrifice that needs to be done, because the love is being sacrificed because of responsibilities such as work, such as restraints to time. They don't have enough time to be together, and her own Saturn is also squaring his Venus, so it's a double whammy. So really, their schedules, time is not allowing them to be together the way normal couples are, as well as responsibilities towards their professions, towards their self-efforts, the things that they involved in. They just saying no way, right? So with this, then it makes the romance have hurdles, and they would have to adjust too much around family life. And for him, with the divorce, because he's busy with the divorce, and his Venus is going right into her 6th house of divorces. So definitely it was indicated that her coming into his life would trigger the divorce. So he's going to focus on that, or be taken from this relationship, focusing on that, on his divorce, from his ex-wife, right? So obligations towards family are also making this this relationship be difficult to really uphold right nicely. They also have a square of their moons. Her moon is squaring his moon. Again, not enough time, not enough expressions of emotions, because they're too busy focusing on other things. Him on his litigations towards divorce, family life, all of that is giving so much difficulty. And at the same time, they have a semi-sextile of their Venuses. Whoa, just too much, right? Just too much. He would be investing much of, trying to invest some of his time, some of his affection, but he wouldn't feel like it's being given enough for him to support him, right? And they have an in conjunctions of their Mars. Again, it means also even passionately and sexually, they can't find time to express these things. There's just too much going on in this relationship to make it withstand life circumstances. I have her sun conjunct with his Ketu and moon. Again, of course, there's been the humiliation already, scandals. That's what it always does. Sun and Ketu, when they together, they will bring out a humiliation. People will know about things that are humiliating to you guys, and we've seen this, lots of stuff being spoken about them, lots of humiliation. And it's also a double whammy because her own Ketu is conjunct with his Venus, Sun, and Mercury again. So yeah, they do have a lovely like Sun and Moon conjunction. Like her Sun is with his Moon, which gives support, which gives that reverence of I'm here for you, I respect you, so they do have that, which is giving them the comfort of why they would want to be together despite this mass of things going on around in their life, right? But it's not enough. That Sun and Moon is not enough. But when it comes to yours, it's not enough. It's not enough, but they would have to serve their purpose of nurturing a project, nurturing a child, nurturing a family life, nurturing something. And they've already started by doing the movie together and all of that. So, they are on their purpose. They are on the verge of serving their purpose with this relationship. And by the time 2026 comes, when the problems really get bigger and bigger, then they would maybe have completed why, like the purpose that they called to do, right? So that is it. So for now, I'm gonna say thank you and a bientôt. Ciao.